Hey guys, Gene here from the BSP Wrestling Show, and I'm here to review WWE Payback. Holy crap, did we get a pretty good show. I gotta give Raw credit. They put on a very good show. Even though they had two SmackDown superstars on the show, but I'll still give them the benefit of the doubt. Mostly everything on this show wasn't that bad at all. I mean, really, this was a really impressive show. I have to give Raw their credit. I also have to give credit to the crowd. San Jose was an incredible crowd tonight. They were hyped from beginning to end. They showed their emotions. They let you know how they felt about you, and they were just a good crowd. So I want to thank San Jose for that. The hometown of Bayley, who defended her Raw Women's Championship, and we'll get to that. That's like midway through the show. But let's start with the kickoff. We had Enzo and Cass versus Anderson and Gallows. Match didn't go long. Pretty much Enzo and Cass finally got their win, as I predicted earlier, but it doesn't really matter. It does nothing for either team, so this was pretty much a pointless match. After that happened, we had a little segment where Golden Truth met up with the Hardys in the backstage, and they asked Kurt Angle if they could, face the winners of the Tag Team Championship match and get their shot. They were just saying, how good it was that the Hardys are back and how they're influencing the guys in the locker room and everything, and how it was such a good thing for them to come back. So, and they, I guess, want their shot at the Tag Team Championships if the Hardys decide they're winning, or even if Sheamus and Cesaro win the title. So that was pretty cool. I think they're trying to build up some more tag teams, so nothing really wrong with that. I'm kind of happy that's happening. Wow, I'm actually watching the WWE Network still, and Reigns was getting into the ambulance, and Strowman tried to attack him from behind and pretty much knocked the door clean off the damn hinges, and Roman smashed the other door onto him. So Strowman tried to finish him off, but was very unsuccessful in his attempt, and I guess he walked away or whatever. So that's just what's happening now, after the whole match is over. We'll talk about that match, because that match was freaking great. It was freaking great. I loved it. I love what they did. It was freaking incredible. But yeah, like I said, Golden Truth wants their Tag Team Championship match against the winner of the Tag Team Championships. So next we got Finn Balor on Miz TV. Miz was pretty much poking fun at Balor for not having a very successful year because he got hurt. He was just, kissing his ass at first, and then he buried him and was like, you did all of that, and then you became the first Universal Champion, and then you got hurt. And I was on SmackDown making it, the most must-see show on television. Say that 10 times fast. And, he was just pretty much poking fun at him, and just, Finn got tired of it, and, Miz was like, so what are your plans? What's next for Finn Balor? He was like, I want my title back. He never got a rematch for the Universal Championship. Miz was flabbergasted at that idea. He was like, wait, you know who the Universal Champion is, right? Finn was like, yeah, of course I know who it is. Miz was like, it's Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. He's going to kick your ass, and he's going to just rip you limb from limb. And Finn was like, I like my odds against Brock Lesnar. So he doesn't care who has the Universal title. He wants his shot. And I guess he'll eventually get it. But like I said, he got tired of Miz's antics and, approached him. Marie stepped in, of course, as always. Balor was like, well, this is how all Miz TVs wind up ending. You usually get your ass kicked, but this time you're not worth it. He went to walk away. Miz stopped him like, who do you think you are? What do you mean I'm not worth it? And, just all this other stuff. And then Finn immediately came back, sling blade, and then hit the drop kick to the turnbuckle move. Didn't hit the coup de grace like I thought he was, but that pretty much did the job. They're going to probably have their rivalry going forward on Monday Night Raw, so that'll be interesting to see. I feel like Finn can elevate himself on the mic with somebody like Miz, because the Miz is just incredible on the mic. Probably one of the best promo guys in the WWE at the moment. So we'll see where it goes from there. I know I always say that, we'll see, but that's just what it is. We'll just have to see. After that, we get the main show, the main card, and we started off with Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship match. Kind of deja vu from their match at WrestleMania. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the match, but it was very, very similar to their match, just with different aspects. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you remember the finger spot at WrestleMania, Kevin Owens used his finger to save himself from losing the match. In this match, he did the same thing to get out of the walls of Jericho, but it winded up turning on him when Jericho stomped his hands in and smashed him in between the steel steps and put him in the walls of Jericho again, and we have a new United States champion. Chris Jericho won the freaking match. And I'm happy. Don't get me wrong, but I thought for sure Owens was keeping that title because Jericho is going on tour with Fozzy, but Jericho won the match and he's the newest member of SmackDown Live. Completely surprised me. I was kind of weird about it on Twitter, but now that I'm thinking about it, it could work. We don't know for sure. Well, we know for sure that Jericho is going away, but what happens from here? Like, this is unpredictable. I thought this show was predictable. It turned out to not be predictable at all. I don't even know why I did a predictions video. I got maybe 2 matches right, and then the 1 match on the Kickoff Show. That was about it. Everything else I was completely wrong about. But yeah, we have a new United States champion, and it's Chris Jericho. So we'll see what happens on SmackDown Live, because I believe AJ is still the #1 contender, and Owens is going to want his rematch. So maybe we get a triple threat match. But either way it goes, I don't see Jericho holding that title for more than a couple weeks, to be honest. Be completely honest, I'm sure he's about to drop that title soon enough. So that was a pretty good match. Next, we get the Cruiserweight Championship match, Austin Aries versus Neville. These guys had some good time in this match, and they used every single second of it to their advantage. Good back and forth offense. Neville started taking over in the match, and we all know Neville's arrogant, but he started to become overly arrogant. Even for him, he started to do just way too much. Every time he would knock Austin Aries down, he would just like go and hang on the ropes and just play to the crowd a little bit, get some heel heat. He did it like 3 times. On the 3rd time, Aries got up and knocked him off the dang rope. That's when he was able to finally take over, and it led to him putting Neville in the last chancery. And I thought this was it. I thought we was going to have a new Cruiserweight champion, and Neville, with nowhere to go, desperate times called for desperate measures, and somehow, some way, he grabbed the referee by his shirt and tossed him behind him, over the submission. He just tossed the referee, and of course the referee got attacked, so he had to disqualify Neville, which means Austin Aries won the match, but he didn't really win the title because it was by disqualification. So Neville keeps his title by the hair of his chinny chin and just barely escaped Austin Aries. But it's getting close. The next time they face for the title, Aries is taking it. He has Neville all figured out at this point, and Neville is just still resorting to different things to retain his title. Like at WrestleMania, he had to claw out Austin Aries' eye, and now he had to get disqualified by throwing the referee. So it's getting really, really close. Once Austin Aries gets his payoff, it's going to be wonderful. It'll probably be at Extreme Rules. No disqualification. So Neville can't really use any of his antics unless somebody jumps them. But I don't really see that happening as much. So this will be fine. Aries will get his title soon enough. But Neville just doing whatever he can to remain king of the Cruiserweights. After that, we got the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardy Boys. Pretty good match. High octane offense with Cesaro's outrageous vertical abilities and his uppercuts. Then you had Jeff with his insaneness, tistityism. Yeah, that's a word. I just made it up. And I just thought this match was just so wild. Like, it was so wild. Jeff lost a tooth in this match. And Matt Hardy got, like, his eye busted open or something. Like, somewhere around his eye, he started bleeding. I don't even know when it happened. I just saw it happen. So, after that, Sheamus hit white noise from, like, the 2nd rope. That was freaking crazy. Jeff barely got in there to save the match. Jeff went to dive on Cesaro outside, who countered him, but Jeff countered him back and threw him over the barricade. Sheamus was in the ring by himself trying to hold his own, but fell victim to a twist of fate. Or no, he actually countered a twist of fate and did some move and went to cover Matt Hardy. And Jeff still with Sheamus covering Matt Hardy, he still jumped off the top rope for a Swanton Bomb, and they picked up the win to retain their titles. Now, for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, Cesaro and Sheamus have been showing them respect. They've been shaking hands after their singles matches and whatever. And they did the same thing after this match. Except this time, the Hardys got on the top rope to, to celebrate or whatever, pander towards the crowd. And then Cesaro and Sheamus got back into the ring and completely went heel and just started kicking their ass. They just snapped on them. And I completely saw this coming. I said it in my predictions video. If the Hardys retain their titles, they're going to get attacked by Cesaro and Sheamus. And yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus finally snapped. They're tired of showing respect. And now they're heels, which is fine with me. Sheamus is always better as a heel to me. But Cesaro being heel, I don't know how that's going to go over. But I'm fine with it. From my end of it, I'm completely fine. We needed a different heel, legit tag team because Anderson and Gallows aren't going to be that. They are former tag team champions, but you wouldn't know it by the way they're booked. So that's cool. And maybe, who knows, this could lead to the Hardys being broken. I don't know, just throwing it out there. Because they really kicked their ass after the match. They were just laid out. The referees and stuff had to get them up off of them. And Cesaro was like, you sure I can do more? You want me to do some more? Like, that's not all I got. So it seemed like they took a little bit of pity on them. So I don't know. But hopefully they can become broken sooner rather than later. Braun Strowman had a little small promo. He says Roman thinks he's there looking for payback, but he made the biggest mistake of his life by showing up. He wants payback, but Strowman's just going to put him out of his misery. That's kind of true. We'll talk about that main event in a second. But next match we get is the Raw Women's Championship match. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Another surprising outcome in this match. Of course, like I said, Bayley was in her hometown of San Jose, so the crowd was extra hyped for her. They gave her a good pop. Alexa's job was to kill that heat and take the win out of the crowd until Bayley was able to make her comeback. That's exactly what happened. She taunted the crowd, taunted her father, who I guess was sitting in the front row. They didn't show him. Bayley did make her comeback, but it was stopped when Alexa countered Bayley to belly. Alexa went for the sparkle splash off the top rope. Bayley went up there to try to hit Bayley to belly off of the second rope, but instead Alexa countered with a nice sunset flip, which it looked perfect. I think this was the match of the night for me, to be honest. This might have been match of the night, or Strowman versus Reigns. I'm not too sure yet, but this was a really good women's match. I'm glad they went out there and had a good match. It's been a while since they've had a good match on a pay-per-view, at least on Raw. So then Alexa went for her knee stomp combination. Bayley countered that and kicked her or something like that. Went for her Macho Man elbow and landed it, but Alexa only kicked out at 2. Alexa went for another sunset flip. Bayley countered that. A lot of counters, yes, I know. Alexa recovered, tossed her into like the bottom part of the ring post hard, and then she got her up and hit that DDT that she does and picked up the freaking win and got so much heat. After she won that match, the crowd was just deflated. Absolutely deflated and shocked. I was shocked. I didn't think Bayley was dropping that title to SummerSlam. I didn't understand the booking at all. I mean, I love Alexa, and this was a very, very good match. But I thought, like I said, Bayley could hold that till SummerSlam and then face Sasha and drop to her. But I guess that's not happening. But on the bright side, Alexa is the first SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion. She's the first one to win both titles. So that's good. Somebody other than Sasha Banks and Charlotte got an accomplishment in the women's division. So I'm not too mad. Not too mad about it. That's actually pretty fine. And Alexa is going to be a good champion. I'm just tired of the hot potato with the women's championship. But Alexa's legit. So they're finally going to give Bayley a little bit of sympathy too. She lost in her hometown. She let everybody down. So this is just going to help her character a little bit more. So I don't see it as a negative so much anymore. I see it more as a positive, and it gives the storyline new meaning on Monday Night Raw, which is perfect. This is what we want. We want them to tell stories. Now they have a story to tell, and they laid the groundwork for it tonight. So that's good. Now we get the most disappointing part of the night, to be honest. Part 1, because there was 2 parts. Part 1 of the House of Horrors match. Now, how they explained it was They would start off in the House of Horrors, and then they would end up in the arena for a no-holds-barred match. Confusing, I know. But we get the match. Randy is in a limo driving to Bray's House of Horrors. I guess it's some house they bought in Missouri or something. I saw a tweet about it. I don't know how the hell they found the house that they used, but they found it. I saw a picture of it. The house was lit up with a blue glow when he arrived. You see like a flash in the window, which kind of looked like Bray. Real eerie, real creepy feeling. Random lawnmower was just moving right on along, nobody on it. Randy approached the house. You could just hear the wood creaking as he approached the door. He looks through the window, he sees Bray, and he goes around to the front door, kicks the door in. They do a ton of cinematics in this whole thing to insinuate the spookiness of the house. Bray winds up attacking Randy from behind, throws him into a wall, proceeds to wail on him a little bit, and then threw him into a lamp. And then he disappeared. Randy goes onto the hunt to find him again, and Bray like grabs his throat through one of these holes that was in the wall or something and started choking him, let him go. Randy found his way into this room with like these weird creepy baby dolls hanging from the ceiling, real demonic and real strange looking. Bray attacks him from behind again, but this time Randy got a little bit of offense in. It didn't last long. Bray threw him into a wall that completely shattered and left the room. Randy goes looking for him once again. He gets into this room. It was like this weird wooden structure with baby heads on it. And Randy was like, yeah, I ain't fucking with that. Let me just go to the next room. And then they end up in the kitchen. Randy's looking for Bray, and Bray comes in with a 2x4, but apparently Randy saw him coming. They fought for a little bit. Randy got some licks in, and then he got up to hit him with a frying pan. Bray kicked him in the nuts. And then Bray gets up and dumps a damn refrigerator on top of Randy. So Randy's trapped in the kitchen. There's nowhere for him to go. And Bray crawls out of the House of Horrors. And on the outside, he says, follow the buzzards. And the house changes from blue to red. Bray gets in the limo that brought Randy to the house. I guess that driver was brave enough to just sit there through that. And told the driver to take him to the arena while he started singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. What the heck? That was so much to take in. It was just crazy. You probably just need to see it. I probably didn't do a good job of explaining all that happened, but that's just what I saw, okay? And that was what I was able to take down. But that was it for now. But don't worry, that was only the first part. So we get Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe after that. Samoa Joe looked strong in this match, worked the knee of Seth Rollins, did his job, caused a lot of damage to him. And even though he was kicking his ass, Seth still had a ton of fight in him, and he was just dealing with the fact that his knee was getting worked on, so he had to adjust his movesets to combat that. Seth was able to hit a frog splash from the top rope, but the hesitation of him, checking his knee because his knee was hurting allowed Joe to kick out. They went back and forth for a while, strikes and stuff, all that good stuff. Rollins went for a sling blade. Joe put him in a coquina clutch. Rollins was able to run to the turnbuckle and flip him over for a pin. Joe kicked out. Joe locked it in one more time, but Rollins slipped out of that and rolled him up to get the pin and win the match. And I think I'm done predicting videos because, like I said, or predicting these shows, because I got this completely wrong. I really thought Samoa Joe was going to go over. But I'm glad they did it this way. It went the complete opposite direction where I expected him to go. And it was a good match, and the finish wasn't that bad. Joe came out of this still looking strong, even though he lost his first match. But Seth got a legit win at the same time. So that's two different stories you told there. And, Joe doesn't look like some jobber just because he lost here. Because he absolutely dominated the whole match. So that's fine. So that's when we get part 2 of the House of Horrors. This time, Bray arrives at the arena and heads to the ring. He does his whole entrance. He has his lamp. He's struggling to get to the ring, though, because he just went through that in the House of Horrors. He's just struggling. He's limping. All this good stuff. Finally makes it to the ring, and, he blows out the lamp. The lights come on. Randy Orton's right behind him. That's when I got confused. I'm like, did he just, they didn't tell the story of how he got to the arena. Did he just use like Goku's instant transmission, or did he catch a fucking Uber driver or a Lyft? What the hell? How did Randy, who was pinned under the fridge with no help, get his ass to the arena right at the same time that Bray gets to the ring? That doesn't make sense. They could have showed Randy, you know, pop up out the car and he was the one driving it or something. They could have told that story, but they just... It was just some missing pieces to this, and it really let me down because I thought this was going to be way better than what it was. Some parts were good, but this could have been way better. So they did fight for a little bit. Randy, you know, was on the attack, had a steel chair, hit Bray in his back. They fought on the outside. By the announce table, Randy put him up there, hit the DDT off of there. One more chair shot to the back, threw him into the stairs. Gets back into the ring. The Singh brothers from SmackDown Live attack Randy from behind. He tosses them off of him. Whatever, cool. You're gone. And then Jinder Hardbody Mahal attacks Randy with his own title that he stole last Tuesday on SmackDown Live and smacked him with it 2 times. Bray hits Sister Abigail and picks up the win. I absolutely love this ending. As disappointing as this whole thing was, the ending was great. You have Bray go over, he gets his win back, and you further continue the storyline on SmackDown Live with Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers. Now Randy Orton has a reason to pay attention to Jinder. Not only did he steal his title, but he cost him his match against Bray Wyatt. He hasn't been taking him seriously up to this point, and now he has a reason to take Jinder Mahal seriously. So this is cool. We're building up Jinder Mahal, we're making him look legit, and we're making Randy care about wanting to fight him because he's costing him matches, he's stealing from him. This is cool. I like this. It's different. I didn't expect Jinder Mahal to show up. I don't think nobody predicted Jinder Mahal to show up and attack Randy with his own title. So that's good. Bray got his win. Wish it was for the title, but I understand why it's not because of the Superstar Shakeup thing. But now we got a storyline to continue on SmackDown Live, and Bray gets to go on, finally coming out on top, or a little bit on top, I guess you could say, of some type of feud. So now we get the main event. We get the Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns, the big dog. So Reigns came out selling his injuries, of course. He has his ribs wrapped, his shoulder, part of his arm. He's holding his ribs. He's just like struggling to get to the ring. And the match happens. So Strowman was pretty much manhandling him, tossing him across the ring like he was nothing, chokeslamming him on the announce table, throwing him, you know, from the ring apron to the barricade when he tried to do the drive-by, throwing him into the ring post, running him into the steps. Like, he was just doing everything to Reigns, and it just was looking so one-sided. But of course, Reigns fought back, as he always does, and found the strength somehow with that separated shoulder to lift up Braun Strowman for a Samoan drop. He was fighting out of everything Strowman started to throw at him, and Strowman had lifted him up for a power slam on the outside, but he ran Strowman into the ring post. Roman, once they got back into the ring, hit a spear, and Strowman kicked out. My heart skipped like several beats because I thought it was over. But Strowman kicked out, thank God. After a few Superman punches, Reigns went for that same spear he did on Undertaker, where he gets momentum running the ropes, and he went for the spear. Strowman caught him in like that bear hug submission that he used to do all the time. And then he hit a power slam on Reigns. Reigns kicked out. Then he got him back up, hit another power slam. This time, Reigns did not kick out of it. And Strowman got a huge win. He really, really needed this win. I said on Twitter that Reigns did not need to win this match. He still, you know, looked like the big dog. That was quotations I just did there. He still looked like the big dog, but Strowman looked like a monster. This is how you build your freaking monsters. Oh, and it's not over. After the match, Strowman isn't done with him yet. I'm not done with you. He grabs some steel steps from the outside and sets him up in the ring and, you know, picks him up like he's about to power slam him again and just lifted him up and dropped him ribs and shoulder first on top of these steel steps, and he dented them. They had a nice little dent in them, so you know that had to hurt. And then he picked up the steel steps while Reigns was on the ground. And one more time, he took him, lifted him all the way up, boom, right on the ribs. Smashed him steel steps right on his ribs. And Reigns had blood coming out of his mouth. The crowd was going wild because they wanted this to happen. They were chanting, "You deserve it," and "Thank you, Strowman." They were just doing everything and anything to let Roman know they enjoyed what was happening to him. So, Reigns got his ass kicked. Strowman looks like a freaking monster. This is how you build a monster. He got the win, so that's good. He can continue on his path of destruction until he meets Brock Lesnar, because we all know Brock Lesnar is going to be the one to take out the mighty Braun Strowman. But yeah, overall, this gets a B+ for me, really. We got some good, really, really good wrestling matches here. I can't complain too much about a lot. The House of Horrors match, yeah, it could have been way better, but for what it was, I guess it was alright. This was definitely Raw's best pay-per-view of the year so far, excluding WrestleMania. This was Raw's best pay-per-view so far. They did a really good job telling stories and making it unpredictable when it looked very predictable at first. So I do appreciate that. We complain all the time about how predictable Raw is and how WWE is, but we got very unpredictable results here, so that was fine. I'm glad that was the way they chose to go. Like I said, B+. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I could probably go back and watch a few matches from this show again. But yeah, that's Payback. That's my review. If you guys liked Payback, let me know down in the comment section down below. Let me know what your favorite match is, what your grade for the show was. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Monday Night Raw is tomorrow, so we'll see the aftermath of Payback. Probably get some rematches. Hopefully we get the Broken Hardys, maybe. A boy can dream, right? A boy can dream. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for Raw review. And peace.